The Galactic Council's chamber was a masterpiece of alien engineering. It floated in orbit above the gas giant Trelos, glowing like a crown in the endless night. Inside, the most powerful species in the galaxy had gathered. Delegates from every corner of space sat in tall seats, their eyes glowing, blinking, or shifting colors, each one ready to decide Earth's future. The topic was simple, but heavy. Should Earth be exiled from the Galactic Council? Earth had joined the Council only 70 years ago. At first, humans were treated like children, curious, clever, but too emotional. Many aliens laughed at Earth's passion, its strange art, its loud music, and its endless desire to explore. But over time, that laughter faded. Earth had grown, fast. Their technology advanced at a speed no one predicted. Their trade networks stretched across sectors. Their military? No one knew exactly how strong it was. Earth never showed everything, and that made the other species nervous. Now, fear had turned into action. A tall being named Rahakor from the Valari Empire stood at the center of the chamber. His voice echoed through hidden speakers. "Let us begin the vote," he said, his tone cold. "Earth's behavior threatens balance. Their growth is dangerous. Their refusal to share key technologies proves they do not respect the laws of the Council. We propose immediate exile." Most delegates nodded. Some didn't care. Others were simply afraid to speak against the powerful Valari, Zarkon, and Crisari alliances. And yet, one race said nothing. Earth. The human ambassador sat calmly in his seat. His name was Elias Ward. He wore a simple black suit with no medals or decorations. No one noticed him enter the room, and no one heard him speak. Not yet. As the vote began, Rahakor raised his long hand. "Valari, yes?" Another hand rose. "Crisari, yes." One by one, votes began falling into place. The screen at the center of the chamber showed a rising bar. 36%, 52%, 67%. Soon it would pass the 70% mark. That was all it needed to pass. But then Elias stood. He didn't shout. He didn't beg. He simply looked around the room and said, "You already made your decision." So did we. Confused, whispers filled the air. A few delegates raised eyebrows or alien tendrils. Some laughed quietly. Elias walked toward the chamber doors. "You think you are voting to exile Earth," he said, turning to look at them one last time. But Earth already left. The doors closed behind him. At that exact moment, a soft hum echoed outside the station. It started low, barely noticeable. Then it grew louder. The lights flickered. The Council's comms systems began to glitch. A warning screen blinked to life, then vanished. Outside the station, something massive appeared. A ship. No, many ships, uncloaked just beyond the defensive perimeter. Black, angular, and silent. Earthships. Dozens of them, all pointing directly at the Council chamber. Inside, panic began to grow. Some delegates reached for emergency buttons. Others shouted at their aides to check scanners. But it was already too late. The human fleet had been there the whole time. Then a voice echoed across every screen, in every language, in every ear. "The vote is over. Earth does not wait to be judged." It was not Elias's voice. It was something else, something artificial. A fleet AI, calm and cold. Rahakor stood up, shaking with anger. "This is an act of war!" A blue beam of light suddenly shot past the chamber, slicing an asteroid outside into glowing pieces. It didn't hit the station, but the message was clear. Earth was not afraid, and it would not miss next time. A map appeared on the main screen. It showed the Council station surrounded, every escape route blocked, every fleet cut off. Then came the final message. "You chose exile. Earth chose freedom. Now we watch who chooses survival." The screen went dark. The delegates sat in silence. No one dared speak. Outside, the Earth fleet did not fire. It didn't need to. It had already said everything with its presence. The vote had not even finished. But the galaxy had already lost control of the outcome. Earth was no longer under their rule. It had stepped beyond their reach, calmly, boldly, and fully prepared. And the galaxy would never be the same again. Elias Ward walked down the long, silver corridor, his steps slow but steady. Behind him, the chamber of the Galactic Council had fallen into silence. The vote was broken, the rules shattered, and above all, the illusion that Earth was weak or afraid was gone. He passed through a security gate. The guards didn't stop him. They just stared, confused and afraid. Every screen around the station now showed one thing: Earth's fleet, fully armed, completely silent, and completely surrounding the Council. Outside, 12 capital-class human warships hovered in a perfect sphere around the orbital station. They were black as space, without any glowing engines or running lights. They looked like floating shadows with teeth. On the command bridge of the lead ship Iron Resolve, Admiral Lena Marich watched silently. Her fingers tapped once on her console. One signal, one simple command. The ships began to shift formation, slowly, like a predator stretching its muscles before a strike. Inside the council chamber, panic had begun to spread. What are they doing? Shut down the vote! Try to contact Earth, now! But no messages could leave. Earth's fleet had jammed every outgoing signal the moment Elias left the room. Rahakor stood again, his face twisted in rage. This is unacceptable. They are bluffing. Fire on them. Fire now! But there were no Council weapons nearby strong enough to hit the Earth fleet. And none of the Council species had expected Earth to act so fast, or so boldly. Then, without warning, the chamber doors opened. Again. Everyone turned. It wasn't Elias. It was a small, floating drone. Round, silver, with a glowing blue eye. It hovered into the middle of the chamber and stopped. A moment passed. Then it spoke in clear, emotionless English. The ambassador has left the station. His message was final. Do not follow. Do not respond. You have been surrounded. Earth will not fire unless provoked. But make no mistake. Earth is ready. Silence again. Then the drone began to show something. A hologram of Earth's fleet. Each ship had its name, its class, and its range. It also showed a red circle around the Council station, a circle marked Safe Zone. The meaning was clear. Stay inside the zone, and Earth would not attack. Cross the line, and nothing would be left. The Zarkan ambassador, Lord Kiris, whispered, "They've thought of everything." The Krasari delegate tried to speak, but his throat clicked in fear. This can't be. They were just a minor race. How could they move this fast? When did they build all of this? That was the question haunting every leader in the chamber. They had watched Earth rise. They had seen humans expand to trade, to learn, to adapt. But they never saw Earth plan. They thought Earth was unpredictable because of their emotions. But what if that chaos was just a mask? Somewhere deep inside Earth's governments, someone had seen this vote coming. Maybe years ago. And instead of shouting or begging, Earth had acted the way humans always did when they were cornered. They prepared. The drone's eye blinked again. One final message played. This council lost the right to judge Earth. From now on, Earth judges itself. Any threat to humanity will be answered, not with votes, but with action. We offer no demands. We ask for nothing, just this. Stay out of our way. Then the drone turned and floated out. No explosions, no weapons fired, just power shone like a knife quietly unsheathed. In the observation deck of the station, a group of young alien trainees stood frozen as they looked out the giant glass window. Earth's warships sat beyond the stars like monuments of war. One of the students whispered, "Are they going to attack?" The instructor, an old being with 3 eyes, shook his head. "No," he said softly. "They don't have to." At that moment, Elias Ward stepped into his shuttle. The human vessel detached from the station and drifted toward the waiting fleet. No one tried to stop him. No one dared. Inside the shuttle, Elias looked back at the station. His eyes were calm, almost sad. "It didn't have to be this way," he said quietly. "But you voted. Now we act." And with that, the shuttle vanished into the hangar of the Iron Resolve. The council was left alone. No vote, no control. Just the cold silence of being watched, and the galaxy understood something new that day. Earth didn't need permission to protect itself. It would never ask again. The Galactic Council chamber no longer looked proud or powerful. Panic had replaced the calm. Delegates shouted across the hall, some trying to make sense of what was happening, others simply afraid. The vote to exile Earth had stopped halfway, and no one knew what to do now. The human ambassador had left. Earth's fleet had surrounded the station, and worst of all, no one could communicate with the outside. Emergency lights flashed red across the ceiling. The comms panel still blinked with static. Dozens of calls had been sent out to nearby fleets, but none had received a reply. The station was cut off. Rahakor, the Valari leader, slammed his fist against the table. "This is a bluff! We must respond with strength." Council Commander Surreal, a wise and older being from the Plow species, shook his head. "And if it's not a bluff?" he asked quietly. "We have no fleet nearby, no shields strong enough to resist them, and no idea how many more ships Earth has." As if to answer him, the giant screen in the chamber turned on again, this time without warning. A dark space appeared on it at first, then slowly the shadow of a ship came into view. It wasn't the largest ship in Earth's fleet, but it was the one now pointed directly at the station. Its name appeared in bold red letters, ESS Vengeance. Its weapons systems lit up, showing every cannon, missile bay, and railgun currently locked onto the station's outer defenses. A voice followed. "Calm, human, female. This is Captain Freya Nash of the Vengeance. We are here by Earth Command. We have no orders to fire. We have orders to protect Earth's ambassador and any future diplomatic actions. But if a single weapon is aimed at us, we will respond immediately." The message ended. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Everyone held their breath. Then the first mistake occurred. A junior technician from the Zarkon delegation panicked and tried to scan Earth's ships using an old military frequency. The scan was meant to be harmless, but Earth's systems didn't see it that way. Outside the station, the Vengeance glowed for a brief moment. Then it fired, not at the station, but into space. A single beam shot out and struck a small moon, nearby. The moon didn't explode. It vanished, completely shattered into dust. One clean strike. Inside the chamber, screams erupted. What was that? They destroyed a moon! No, they erased it. A second voice followed on the screen. Deeper this time. Male, cold. That was not an attack. That was a demonstration. Everyone in the room stared at the screen. Even Rahakor, once full of anger, now looked pale and quiet. The human voice continued. "Earth has no interest in war, but we are ready for it. You tried to exile us before the vote was finished. Now Earth acts without waiting. Your time of judging is over." The screen went dark again. A long silence filled the chamber. Lord Kyres, the Zarkan representative, spoke slowly. "They can destroy entire moons with one ship. How many more of these weapons do they have?" No one answered. In a side chamber, an emergency council meeting was called. Only 5 senior members were allowed. They sat in a tight circle, whispering. "We have to calm them down," one said. "We have to apologize," said another. "Do we even know how to talk to them now?" asked the third. "They're not answering any messages." That was true. Every transmission sent to Earth's fleet had gone unanswered. It was like trying to speak with a storm. You could talk all you wanted, but the storm would not care. Admiral Lena Merrick, watching from the command deck of Iron Resolve, read the Council's latest attempts to open peace talks. She placed the message into a secure file and gave no reply. "Ma'am," one officer asked, "why aren't we answering them?" Lena replied, "Because we already did." Back in the chamber, Elias Ward's last words echoed in the minds of every council member. "You already made your decision. So did we." The council realized that this was not a threat from Earth. It was a statement of reality. Earth didn't want war, but if war was brought to them, they would not argue, they would not debate, and they would not ask for approval. They would simply act. One delegate, a young and nervous creature from the Chiral species, whispered a question no one wanted to answer. "Are we already at war with Earth?" Commander Soreel slowly looked up. "No," he said. "But if we make one more mistake, we won't have time to regret it." And so the most powerful beings in the galaxy sat frozen, not by chains, not by fire, but by fear. Because for the first time in Council history, power was no longer in the chamber. It was outside, floating, waiting, watching, and it wore the flag of Earth. The Council chamber was quiet for hours. No one left. No one dared speak without whispering. Even the air felt heavier now. All eyes had turned to Earth, but Earth said nothing more. It was as if the humans had spoken all they needed to, and now waited to see what the galaxy would do next. Far above the station, Earth's warships remained still. No threats, no movement, just presence, silent and terrifying. But back on Earth, the true story had already moved far beyond what the Council could imagine. Inside a massive underground complex beneath Antarctica, a woman named Director Ilara Voss watched dozens of screens flickering, with live data. She was one of the few people in the galaxy who had known the Council would turn on Earth one day. She had planned for this. Around her, Earth's real command center was active, not the visible fleet near the Council station. That was just the front. The real strength of humanity was hidden in places the Council never saw. "Status report," Ilara said calmly. An officer replied, "Fleet Alpha remains in visual range of the station. No hostile movements from Council. Cloaked fleet units are holding position in Sector 8, 12, and 17. Another officer added, "Satellite stealth networks are active across 3 major trade routes. All sensor cloaks stable. We're invisible." Ilara nodded. This was the part the Council never understood. Earth had never been open about its full strength. Every other species proudly showed off their warships and defense systems, believing that more visibility meant more power. But humans were different. They had learned through war and survival that true power came from mystery, from control, from making your enemy unsure of what you were truly capable of. And Earth had taken that idea to the extreme. Decades ago, while joining trade routes and Council science programs, Earth had quietly built another network, a hidden defense grid of cloaked fleets, satellite jammers, and long-range weapons. Ships with advanced stealth drives were spread across the galaxy, often hiding in asteroid fields, black zones, or even moons. Most of the Council didn't even know such stealth tech was possible. Earth kept it that way on purpose. And now, with a single vote, the galaxy had triggered Earth's entire silent force. Director Ilara stared at a screen showing a 3D map. Tiny blue dots marked known Earth ships. Red marks showed enemy positions. But the map was incomplete on purpose, even for Earth's own systems. Only a few humans knew where every piece was, just in case. She pressed a button and opened a secure link. A moment later, Admiral Lena Merrick's face appeared. "Ilara," the Admiral greeted. "Status? No provocation yet. The Council's rattled. Their fleets are slow to move. They're unsure. Exactly where we want them." Ilara's expression didn't change. "Let's keep them that way. We show strength, but we don't fire unless forced. Remind them, we are patient, not reckless. Lena nodded. Understood. The call ended. Alara turned back to the map and zoomed in on a region of space far from the Council. A dark area, one that most ships avoided. Inside it, a massive ship floated, unmoving, undetected. The ESS Oblivion. It wasn't in the Council's database. No alien had ever seen it. It didn't even carry crew. It was fully automated, Earth's last response weapon. If the Council had finished their vote and tried to attack Earth directly, the Oblivion would have moved, and nothing would have survived in its path. Back at the Council station, one of the younger delegates from the Tyrix species tried to gather information through an old Earth trade partner. He secretly sent a message to a human colony in Sector 4. He asked a simple question. How many ships does Earth really have? The reply came from an unknown source. More than you'll ever count. Less than we need. It made no sense to him. But it wasn't meant to. Meanwhile, Elias Ward had returned to the Iron Resolve. He stood near a large window, staring at the stars. He didn't smile. He didn't look proud. He looked focused. A junior officer approached. Sir, new requests are coming from Council delegates. Some are asking for peace talks. Some are offering deals. Should we respond? Elias shook his head. Not yet. Let them wait. The longer they sit in fear, the better they'll listen when we speak again. He turned and looked at a glowing red screen nearby. It showed Earth's fleet slowly adjusting formation, tightening the net around the Council. Humanity never wanted to rule the galaxy, Elias said. We just wanted respect. And now? The officer asked. Elias paused, then answered quietly, Now we make sure no one ever forgets us again. Out in space, as Council ships tried to reposition, something strange began to happen. A few alien vessels reported brief sensor glitches, shadows moving where there should be none, signals bouncing back strangely, as if something was watching them that they couldn't see. But by the time they tried to scan again, everything was normal. Normal, because Earth's hidden fleet was already much closer than they thought. For 3 days, the Galactic Council said nothing. They held no meetings, passed no laws, made no announcements. It was as if time itself had frozen. Outside their station, the fleet of Earth still waited, perfectly still. No weapons fired, no demands made, only silence and pressure. But the Council could not stay silent forever. On the 4th day, a single message arrived. It came not from Earth's ambassador, not from a warship, but from Earth itself. The source was deep beneath the surface of the human capital city, an old fortress known only to a few in the galaxy. The Council had expected a diplomatic note or a request for talks, but what they received was something else. It was a simple video, no music, no editing, just one man sitting in a plain metal room. His name was Marcus Ryland, the High Advisor of Earth. He was not a soldier, he was not part of the fleet, but he was the final voice. When he spoke, Earth listened. The message played across every screen on the Council station. No one could block it. No one could pause it. Marcus leaned forward slightly and began speaking in slow, clear English. To the Galactic Council, he said, Earth sees your vote. And Earth remembers. He paused. You tried to exile our species. You didn't finish the vote. You didn't declare war. But your intentions were clear. You wanted us gone. From your trade lanes, your treaties, your protection laws, you wanted to remove us without firing a shot. And now, you've learned what happens when you push humans too far. There was no emotion in his voice, no anger, no pride, just cold truth. We are not requesting peace. We are not threatening war. We are offering a single choice. The screen flickered. A list appeared behind him, short, with only 3 points. The Council will cancel the Exile vote permanently. The Council will never again vote on Earth's removal without Earth present. The Council will formally recognize Earth as an equal power, not a junior member. You have 3 days, Marcus continued, to accept these terms. You may do so quietly. You may keep your pride. But if you deny or delay, he leaned closer to the screen, then the galaxy will change forever, and not in your favor. The screen went black. That was it. No threats, no countdowns, no show of force. But to everyone in the Council, it felt like being handed a weapon, with the safety already off. Inside the chamber, Commander Surreal held his head in his hands. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew we would hesitate. And now they're setting the rules. Rahakor looked furious, but even he said nothing. The weight of what Earth had built, what it was capable of, was now clear to all. Even worse was the third demand, recognition as an equal. For many powerful species in the galaxy, that was more terrifying than any weapon. It meant giving humans a permanent voice, one they could never silence again. In the dark corners of the Council, smaller species began to talk quietly. Some of them were already considering accepting Earth's terms. They had traded with humans. They had seen Earth's kindness. They had also seen Earth's anger. They knew what side they wanted to be on. Meanwhile, inside the Iron Resolve, Elias Ward received the message update from Earth Command. He read it silently and then looked at Admiral Maris. They gave them 3 days, he said. Merrick nodded. If they're smart, they'll take the offer. Elias smiled slightly. They're not smart. They're proud, she sighed. Then they'll learn the hard way. Across the galaxy, something unexpected happened. Several Council-linked stations, far from the vote, received visits from cloaked human ships. The ships didn't dock. They didn't speak. They simply appeared, hovered for a moment, then vanished. It was a quiet message to every corner of the galaxy. We're watching. At the same time, several human colonies that were once ignored or insulted by Council representatives suddenly received shipments of new technology, shields, weapons, AI tools. Earth was not only defending itself, it was strengthening its people everywhere. A silent network of loyalty was forming. Not through conquest, but through power and memory. Back at the Council, fear turned to whispers. What if Earth doesn't stop at equal status? What if they're planning more? But no one had an answer, because for once, the Council wasn't leading. They were reacting. They had always believed that Earth was unpredictable, emotional, chaotic. But now they understood the deeper truth. Earth was patient. Earth was precise. Earth had prepared. And now the galaxy had 3 days to decide what kind of future it wanted. One where Earth stood beside them, or one where Earth stood above them. The 3-day deadline given by Earth had started a fire inside the Council. It was no longer a single group with one voice. Now, the Council chamber was divided, broken into whispers and arguments. Some species, mostly the older, prideful empires, wanted to reject Earth's demands. If we give in now, said Lord Arhakor, slamming his fist, we will lose control of the galaxy forever. Humans must not dictate terms. But others, smaller powers, trade-heavy civilizations, or those who had once received help from Earth, were beginning to see things differently. We're not giving in, said Taylor, Varn of the Lernac system. We're surviving, and maybe finally showing humans the respect they always deserved. A heated discussion began. Dozens of delegates argued. Some stormed out. Others stayed silent, watching and listening. At the back of the chamber, Commander Surreal observed everything. His calm eyes didn't blink as chaos grew around him. After a while, he stood. His voice was quiet, but strong enough to silence the room. This isn't just about Earth anymore, he said. This is about us. We've ruled by fear and politics for centuries, but fear has returned to us now, and it wears a human face. No one argued with him. Meanwhile, aboard the Iron Resolve, Elias Ward monitored the political split with cold calculation. He turned to Admiral Lena Marich. "They're starting to fracture, just like we thought," Marich replied. "Should we push now?" "Not yet," Elias said. "Let them tear themselves apart for one more day, then we'll offer a hand." But Earth wasn't waiting quietly either. Behind the scenes, a second wave of action had already begun. At secret outposts across the galaxy, human diplomats and military liaisons reached out to independent systems, those not under direct council control. Earth offered security, trade deals, and advanced tech. No threats, no pressure, just partnership. One by one, smaller nations began to respond. Some sent back coded acceptance messages, some sent gifts in return, rare minerals, data archives, or ship schematics. One remote system even changed the name of their main spaceport to Ward Station in honor of Elias Ward. In just 2 days, Earth's influence had grown faster than any council-approved empire in history. And back on Earth, Director Ilara Voss was watching it all unfold with a smile. "Our soft net is growing faster than expected," an officer told her. Ilara nodded. "Because people don't want war. They want protection. And right now, Earth is the only one offering it without lies." In the council chamber, the pressure was rising fast. Rahakor and his allies began threatening to walk out if Earth's demands were accepted. Soril responded calmly, "Then walk. But remember, Earth hasn't even fired a shot. And they've already won half the galaxy's trust." That sentence cut deep. Rahakor knew it was true. Earth had not invaded. They had not destroyed fleets. Yet the balance of power was already shifting, not with blood, but with silence, with strategy, with action. On the third day, with only hours. Left before Earth's deadline, something dramatic happened. A small group of council members called an emergency session, but did not invite the main delegates. Instead, they met in secret with Earth's representative, Elias Ward, through a secure holochannel. They didn't speak as leaders. They spoke as allies. "We believe in your terms," said Taylor Varn, "but we can't make them official without causing a total split. Give us a way to help you, without destroying the council completely." Elias nodded. "We expected this. Earth has one final move ready. You just need to be quiet when we make it." The screen went black. Hours later, a message arrived at the council, but it didn't come from Earth. It came from one of the council's own members, the Tauran Dominion. The message read, "In light of current events, the Tauran recognize Earth as an equal power and will now treat all human treaties as sovereign. Any act of aggression toward Earth will be seen as an act of aggression toward the Dominion." The message spread like wildfire. 10 more species followed within the hour. None of them were pressured. They moved on their own. The council realized too late what was happening. Earth didn't need a vote. They had just rewritten the galactic order without firing a single shot. Inside the Iron Resolve, Elias watched the reports come in. Dozens of systems, now aligned with Earth. The council, stunned and frozen. "And our Hakor?" Silenced. Admiral Marich grinned. "It's done," Elias replied softly. "Not yet." She turned to him. "What's left?" He looked at the stars outside the window. "Now," he said, "we speak to the galaxy." The galaxy had never seen a moment like this. For centuries, the Galactic Council had ruled through votes, pressure, and unity. But now their foundation was cracking, and it was Earth that shook it. One by one, powerful civilizations broke rank and sided with Earth. Not because they were afraid, but because they were impressed. Earth hadn't begged, Earth hadn't threatened, Earth had acted, quietly, strategically. And now the galaxy listened when humans spoke. Inside the council station, the silence was different now. It wasn't the silence of power. It was the silence of defeat. Delegates no longer looked toward Rahakor for leadership. His voice, once strong, now sounded hollow. He stood in the middle of the chamber and realized the truth. They hadn't just failed to exile Earth. They had made Earth the center of the galaxy. In a hidden chamber aboard the Iron Resolve, Elias Ward prepared one final transmission. It would be the last message in this chapter, a message to every world, every station, every species. "Is the feed ready?" he asked. "Yes, sir," his communications officer replied. "We're tied into all open channels. The entire galaxy will hear you." Elias stepped forward and faced the camera. He wasn't in uniform. He didn't need medals, just presence. The message began. His face appeared in spaceports, control rooms, cities, and ships across every sector. "This message is for every species," Elias began, "especially those who watched silently while the Council voted to remove us." His tone was calm, measured, but powerful. "You may think this is about revenge. It's not. You may think this is about war. It's not that either. This is about memory." He paused. For too long, Earth was treated as a junior voice. We gave aid. We offered friendship. We helped in wars that weren't ours. And still, we were called unstable, dangerous, expendable. Elias leaned slightly closer to the camera. But when the vote came to exile us, we didn't run. We didn't beg. We prepared. Images played behind him. Silent video clips of human fleets moving through stars. Cloaked ships appearing from darkness. Colonies working together with alien allies. We were already ready before the vote even started. While the Council argued, we moved. While they hesitated, we united our friends. While they tried to push us out, the screen showed dozens of systems joining Earth's alliance. We stepped forward. Then he delivered the final blow. From this day forward, Earth no longer waits for the Council's approval. We are not below you. We are not above you. But we will never be beneath your threats again. Around the galaxy, millions of beings stopped what they were doing just to watch. Elias continued, "If you seek war, know that we are not afraid. If you seek peace, we welcome you. If you seek control, don't look toward Earth. That age is over." Then he ended with 7 final words. Simple, clear. "We are Earth, and we do not kneel." The screen faded to black. And in that moment, something shifted, not just in politics, but in the minds of everyone watching. The fear of Earth had turned to respect. The image of humans as chaotic had turned to something far more dangerous. Now, they were organized, prepared, and respected. And in that silence, across the Council station, Lord Arahakor slowly sat down. He stared at the floor and whispered to himself, "We waited too long. We thought we had time. But time had run out. Because humanity had acted before the vote, and now the galaxy was theirs to shape."